What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah. It's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as I always say, make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. It does not matter how you feel about this video. We all want to talk about it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into the video.
Freshman year, and I had a roommate. And so I walked into coming from class, it's like 3 in the afternoon. And I walk into my dorm room. And so my bed is over here. We had twin beds. My bed was, if you're walking into it, my bed was on the left-hand side, and his bed was on the right-hand side. It was a small room, and there's just like a little alley in between the beds, right? So I got my bed and my desk on the left-hand side, his bed and his desk on the right-hand side. So I come in, and there is this girl, like our kind of classmate. Now we knew each other when we got to UGA, but he met her, and I didn't like her. We'll call her Keisha. All right, I did not like Keisha. And so it's 3 in the afternoon, and I'm coming from class, and I walk in, and Keisha's in the room. And it's bad enough when you got a roommate, because sometimes you just want peace and quiet, and you hoping that they're not in the room.
Right.
So not only is my roommate in the room, which he has a right to be in, right? This is his room, but right. Keisha's in the room. Mm-hmm. And so they're sitting there talking, and as I'm going in and putting my backpack down, he is standing up and putting his backpack on to go to class. And I don't like Keisha. So my roommate gets up, and he's putting his books in his book bag, and he leaves. And I look over, and Keisha's still there. Let me tell you something about Keisha. Keisha was ugly. She was extremely, extremely ugly. Okay. I mean, she was terrible looking.
Not ugly.
I mean, she had a face like a damn moose. I mean, it was. I mean, she was so ugly. And so this is my freshman year, and I'm like, Keisha, I don't want to say his name, but he's gone. Like, what are you still doing here? And she comes over to me, and she's kind of like puts her chest up against my chest and like all close. And I'm like, Keisha, man, I just got hurt. Like, if you don't back up. And she's like, no. And she starts, touching my shoulders and kind of grabbing. I'm like,
Keisha was trifling. Hold up. Keisha was trifling. I was trying to defend Keisha's image. Keisha was trifling.
Keisha, like, go on and leave. Your boys got, and they weren't dating; they were just friends, right? But I was like, the whole reason you are here is because of him. You and I aren't friends. I don't even like you. Look at you. I could walk you to the mirror, and you could see what the hell's going on. And she's like, no. And she starts kissing me on my neck. Now, you don't. Did you hear the sound? Did you hear the sound, right? That's how I was until she started kissing me on my neck. So I'm like, hold up, come on, Keisha. And she's like, no. And I'm like pushing her off, but she keeps coming, and she's smaller, right? She's like 5'5" or whatever, but she's ugly. Mm-hmm. But I'm pushing her off, and she's all at my neck, and come on. So
you took it down?
I mean, she's so ugly. So I had her bent over my roommate's bed. I had her bent over my roommate's bed, right? Ke's bent over the bed. And I'm fucking a moose, all right? And she keeps turning around. She keeps turning her fucking head, and she keeps grunting. She's grunting. Every time, she's like, ugh. She's like, ugh. To this day, I'm 44. This happened to me my freshman year. To this day, if a woman grunts in bed, I'm stopping. Ugh.
So, okay, before we continue this video, these are the conversations that a lot of women are not privy to. These are a lot of the conversations that women aren't willing to hear. This is number one. This is what makes us different when it comes to intimacy with a woman and with a man. This is one of the major things that make us so different. He basically slept with Keisha for Keisha, not for him. He could have done without it. But because she was begging and pleading and this and that, he slept with Keisha for herself. So again, this is what women need to hear. You can't place your value on the fact that men will sleep with you, because according to what he's saying, men are willing to sleep with literally anything. Right? So that's a one huge takeaway that we need to have from this conversation. As much as they're laughing and they're joking, two, when a woman sleeps with a man, she's very, very emotional. It's an emotional thing. She has to be attracted to you. She has to be connected. She has to feel connected to you in some kind of way. Keisha was obviously attracted to him. Obviously felt something for him. That's why she slept with him. So it just shows the difference between us that is so clear that we need to speak about. Because for a man, even when we talk about like a man who, steps out or sleeps or whatever, it just shows the difference between a man and a woman. What a man can do and a woman cannot do. And also, a lot of these women think that they're all this and all that because men are sleeping with them. That doesn't mean anything at all. Because even Keisha was getting something. And you hear his disgust when he describes Keisha. You see his facial expressions when he's describing Keisha. He's literally disgusted with the entire story. But he slept with her. And a lot of women walk around rejecting other men because there's certain men that have given them intimacy, that have slept with them. That doesn't mean anything at all. And that's a hard realization, but that's the truth. That doesn't mean anything.
Because it was the way she turned her snout at me, and I saw her look me in the eyes, and she was grunting. Every just like, oh my god. I was in there for trash can waves. I will kill you.
Trash can, don't do it, man. Please,
I will kill you, trash can waves. She kept grunting, and the grunting was making it so much harder for me to do what I needed to do. And like after 2 minutes of her fucking looking at me in my eyes, turning around with her snout and grunting, I stopped. I stopped and I pulled my pants up. And she was like, no, don't stop. And I was like, no, you got to get out. You have to get out. And she's standing up, and her shorts and her panties are down by her ankles, and she's kind of like wiggling over to me like a penguin. And I'm like, just get out. And she's like, no. And I start trying to pull her pants up, her panties and her shorts. I'm like, Keisha, get out. And she's like, no. And we're kind of like tussling. And I open the door, and I'm trying to push her out, and she doesn't want to go out. And like, I'm physical now with her. I'm so done with her. I am so done with her. And I put her out in the hallway and close the door. And she's banging on the door. And I was just so disgusted with the grunting. And then having her, it was the combination of her turning her head and looking at me in the eye.
Another key point in this conversation. Can we talk? That's a whole different conversation, but can we just talk about really quick the fact that if a man is not into you and doesn't want you, he's not confused about that. He's not confused. He's very, very sure. There is no convincing. It's the value that we also need to have on ourselves. Being in these situations, I mean, this was their freshman year in college. They were extremely young, but it's important to have value as a woman, to have self-respect and to have dignity within yourself. She's in the hallway and she's still knocking. Accept me. Please.
That grunt. Fast forward like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 o'clock. I go into my dorm room. My roommate is there with Keisha. Now, the lights are off, but there's a big window. There's a huge window that's in between our two beds, huge window on the wall, and there's so much light coming through. So it's 3 in the afternoon. Even though the lights are off, it's still kind of bright as hell. But the lights are off. And I walk in there, and they're both sitting on the bed, and they're both closed. They both have clothes on because he's about to go to class. And they're sitting on the bed, and he has kind of her arm around her, and she's looking all fucking pathetic.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are y'all doing? Why are the lights off? And no one answered. And I don't want to say his name. I look at my room. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Because the fact that she's in guys, listen, she's in my room. You guys don't, imagine, we're old now, so we can't really relate. Imagine having someone you don't like in your room. Mm-hmm. That's like having someone you don't like in your house.
Right.
And I look at my roommate because he knows how I feel about Keisha's fucking moose head. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Why are the lights off? You know what he says? He looks up to me and he says, Keisha, she's thinking about dropping out of school because she's pregnant.
No.
And I was like, fucking bitch. And I was like, oh my God. Because I know that I did not finish in that moose. But she was pregnant at the time. And it took like 10 seconds for it to hit me. Keisha was trying to put a baby on me.
Wow.
She was trying to
See, I called it. I knew she was trifling.
A baby on me. And this was like back in 95.
Wow.
This was back in 95. And just so many waves of emotion flowed over me because it was like all of womanhood had been exposed to me. I in that instant, it was like a 10-second instant where I was seeing that women were not, girls were not these girls. Women are fucking people. And it was that day when I was like, oh my God.
And this is important also because so many men have these stories, right? Of, the men who stand for something, the men who have standards, the men who have, self-respect and demand their self-respect. They all can literally sit down and tell you a story as to what exposed them to the mindset of how women have, basically showed them their ways. The reason why that they deal with women or say the things that they say or understand the ill nature of a lot of women because they've already had these certain stories. But that's trifling.
This is, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I could not believe it. I could not believe what I learned that day.
Oh God, fucking Keisha so much right now.
She did end up quitting school. I never saw her again on campus. She quit like 3 or 4 months after that, and she just disappeared.
All jokes aside, you were scared though, weren't you?
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't really scared. It wasn't the scaredness thing because I knew that I didn't finish.
Right.
It was the fact that she was trying to put a baby on me, something that I thought was impossible for a girl to do. Like, wow. I thought they were they're fucking, they got titties, they're so great. Wow. I didn't understand that I didn't understand that women were people. I thought they were something. And if you're a guy, a woman has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Like, women don't know how young men see women. They have no idea how men can be in this whole Disneyland thing. But that's exactly where I was up until that day when I fucked a moose.
And that's the issue that we're having right now, is that a lot of women are used to being pedestalized. I don't even know if that's a word. If it isn't, I just made it up. We're just going to go ahead and roll with it. So many women are used to being pedestalized, put on a pedestal, and oh, because I'm a woman, I can do this, and because I'm a woman, I can say that, and because I'm a woman, I can do this to you, and you just have to take it because I'm a woman. And men are now realizing, the cloth or wool or whatever it is has been taken off of their eyes, and they're realizing the ill nature of what women are doing, trying to do. That aha moment that he had with Keisha, trying to put a baby on him, is what a lot of our men are having right now. And this is something that women are trying to come against, trying to tear down, trying to attack. No, don't expose us. No, don't expose what we're trying to do, because we're trying to go ahead and get and have the last laugh over here with these people. But if you're exposing us, these people are going to have their eyes open and be aware of the things that we're trying to do. They're going to be on to me. I won't be able to put a baby on somebody else. Or I won't be able to convince this person of what their wrongdoings and this so that I can get over on them in this way. This is, again, everything comes full circle. This is how you have people calling, the women who were calling them out, betraying the sisterhood, the pick-me's and the this and all of these things. Because of the lack of the accountability. Because of hiding behind all of the things that they're saying. Because if they really know that if they listen, if they have to deal with and face the truth of the things that they're actually doing to other people, they don't like what that looks like and what that feels like. So we'd rather just bash them and tell them that they all crazy.
Bruh. And ours. She taught me so much about women that day in 1995.
Wow.
So much. So my story started out exactly like Joelle's story. It took a different turn, but I learned that day that women are people too. Yeah. Right? They will absolutely. Now, I didn't have anything as traumatic as a false allegation. That might be the worst allegation you can ever have. Apart from like with children, the absolute worst.
You know what's really sad is that what's really, really sad is that when he said the thing about sitting on the bed and, the lights were off and they were having like this sad sob moment, I really thought that she was going to accuse him of that. I really thought that she was going to have accusations against him. That's what I thought the story was going to, allude to. When he said she's really thinking of, I thought it was going to be really thinking of pressing charges. It was a different really thinking of. But that's really sad that that's the first thing that even came to my mind.
But, back in those days, women were putting babies on dudes. This is 95. It's not like, oh, let's just run down the street and get a DNA test. This was back in the day, guys.
Right.
Yep. And it was a serious thing. Now, I knew for a fact it wasn't me because I didn't shoot up. I wasn't even close, man. We were both trying. I mean, it was, I was dumb, so I was in it, but it wasn't like the enjoyment thing. That the grunting what was pulling me out of it.
Listen,
I couldn't.
If he bring up this grunting one more time, he's really heard about the grunting because he cannot let it go.
And her looking me in my eyes with that snout while she was grunting.
Bruh.
But man, I realized something so important about women that day. And it's not that they're all terrible, none of that black pill stuff. It's just the realization that women they're fucking people. Yeah. And a person will absolutely do you dirty.
You don't have to answer that question. I'll answer it.
Wow. So we got his red pill story. And as I said before, so many men have these stories. If you listen to different conversations with different men, even if you just ask men, they will all tell you the moment that they realized that switch was off, and no, they're not these, weak princesses that need saving, that they're capable of doing some ill things, especially as, his past as being a lawyer too. I'm sure that was a big part of it, because he was able to not see through the lens of, oh, women are so truthful and honest all of the time, and women need protection all of the time, and all men are bad. He was able to see with a balanced view and knowing what women are also capable of. That's very important, especially when it comes to, family court. Because if you get in front of the right person, they will be like, girl, no, everything that you're saying does not make no sense. But unfortunately, we live in a society where it's the complete opposite most of the time. They just are immediately to the aid of the woman, and if you're against that, then you're bad. So anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I definitely want to hear it. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up. And again, if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you.